What if I told you there's a new kind of crystal ball? One made of code and data that claims it can see the future. And it's being pointed at one of the most chaotic systems we have.
So here's the billion-dollar question, right? The one that stumped economists forever. Can you actually see a financial collapse coming before it happens? It sounds like pure science fiction. Well, what if I told you an AI has come ridiculously close to doing just that?
Okay, just look at this number for a second. 99.22%. I mean, that is a shockingly high number for any kind of prediction. But for something as messy and unpredictable as finance, that's something else entirely.
Yeah, that's how accurately one AI model figured out which US banks were about to fail. A number like that, you just have to know how they did it. So, how in the world was this even possible? Let's dig in and unpack this pretty incredible prediction.
All right, so here's the setup. Back in 2018, some researchers decided to throw an AI model at this huge problem. They grabbed a sample of almost 1,500 US banks and then just fed the AI a complete mountain of data on every single one. And I mean a mountain. We're talking 144 different financial data points, all straight from official FDIC records.
And the results? Well, they weren't just good, they were a game changer. Let's see exactly how this new AI approach stacked up against the old way of doing things. Okay, so this is what's so wild. Just look at the difference here. The old school method, this thing called the Olson score, it came in at around 79% accurate, which, isn't terrible. But the AI model, a jaw-dropping 99.22%. I mean, come on, that's not even a fair fight. And here's what that actually means in the real world. Think about this. Out of 115 banks that went belly up, the AI called it on 112 of them. It also correctly said you're fine to over 1,100 healthy banks and only got it wrong like 7 times. The precision is it's just nuts. So what's the secret sauce here? How did it do it? Well, the AI started by digging through all 144 of those financial variables for every single bank, things like assets, liabilities, income, the whole shebang. It was basically looking for a needle in a haystack, and you're not going to believe what it found. Out of all that complexity, it turned out that only 2 things really mattered. Just 2. And these were the 2 golden tickets. First, something called Tier 1 risk-based capital, which is basically just a fancy way of saying how financially strong is this bank at its core. And the second one was the ratio between what a bank spends on interest and what it makes from interest. In other words, is it making more money than it's spending on its main business of lending? And once the AI knew to look at just those 2 things, it could just draw a line. You can see it right here on the chart. It's almost a perfect separation between the healthy banks in blue and the ones that failed in red. It's like it found this super simple pattern hidden in all that chaos. But here's the thing. This kind of crazy predictive power isn't just for Wall Street. You and I, we bump into this exact same kind of tech every single day, and most of the time, we don't even know what's happening. Like, you've probably heard that classic story about Target, right? Their AI got so good at analyzing what people were buying that it could figure out a customer was pregnant, sometimes before she'd even told her own family. All just based on things like lotion and vitamin purchases. Or how about Netflix? That little picture you see for a movie, say Pulp Fiction, it's not the same for you as it is for me. If the AI thinks you're into action movies, you might get the poster of Uma Thurman with a gun. But if it thinks you're more into dramas, you'll see a totally different, more thoughtful-looking poster. It's all being custom-tailored for you by a predictive AI. So does all this mean these machines are actually, thinking? Well, not really. And there's a really simple way to understand the difference between how an AI thinks and how we do. Okay, picture this. The challenge is simple. Just get out of this room. We've got a human and an AI, head to head. Who gets out first? Well, the human uses what we call intelligence, right? We see a door, we know it's an exit, we walk to it, and we open it. Easy. The AI, it does something totally different. It tries to smash its way out of every single possible point in the room. The wall over here, the floor, the ceiling, just randomly, but millions and millions of times every second. Eventually, it's going to try the doorknob and it'll get out, so the AI wins. But not because it's smarter, it wins because it's just mind-bogglingly fast. So if this kind of brute force speed is that powerful, what else can it predict? Let's take a look at where this is all headed. I mean,
people are already pointing this technology at some of our biggest challenges. They're trying to forecast things like which patients are likely to be readmitted to a hospital, predicting the probability that an IVF treatment will be successful, even using old FBI data to try and predict crime rates. And of course, the big ones, recessions and country credit ratings. And believe it or not, this isn't even that new. The people who did that bank study pointed out that they've been at this for a while. Their first machine learning models, they built those way back in 2009. That was long before AI was the word on everyone's lips.
So that kind of leaves us with one big, fascinating question, doesn't it? We're building these tools that can basically see around corners, forecasting everything from recessions to illnesses to crime. The only real question left is, what should we point this AI crystal ball at next?